Okay, this is Mrs. Kaplan. She's the owner and manager of the Shell station here in East Troy. So, Mrs. Kaplan, what happens when somebody is late to work in general?
Okay, well, if you're late to work at East Troy Shell, the first thing I'll do is I'll talk to you about it, and stress how important it is that you're here on time, because if you've ever come into Shell and there's a long line of people, if you're not up at the registers when you're supposed to be up there, that's what's going to happen. And your other coworkers are going to get very irritated that you're late, and they're going to complain to me. So
Right.
first I'll give you a warning, and then we'll start writing you up, and ultimately you'll get 3 write-ups, and then I'll have to terminate you because it's so important that you're here on time. We just can't run a store efficiently if you're late.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.
This is Mr. Lambrix. He's the owner of East Troy Lumber. And Mr. Lambrix, I was just going to ask you a couple of questions. What happens in your business here in East Troy when you have employees who either call in sick too much or try to get off work too much or are late all the time? What is your process for that type of employee?
Well, the process for that employee is, of course, we would warn that employee with a written warning that they would sign, and we put it in their file. And if that behavior continues, then it would lead to either time off and ultimately being let go.
Yeah. Is there anything that is from your end as a business owner that is really difficult when you have employees that do those types of things where they're calling in or they're, always trying to get off work and things like that?
Well, the biggest impact for us is because we are a retail business and we're supplying material to contractors, we have a schedule to meet, and the customers also have a schedule. And if we're late by an hour or 2 hours with material that they need to finish a project, then they have a crew that are waiting there, and those crew is sometimes 4 or 5, 6 guys, and it costs that contractor upwards of $200 per hour to have his employees with no material to work with. What it also does for us is it sets our whole schedule for the day behind. So it's not just one customer who's affected. If you're a driver and you're late an hour or 2 hours, a half day, then you've upset the schedule for the whole day. Could be 5 or 6 customers that are waiting for materials. That's the biggest impact for us. And it's not going to take long for those contractors to find a different place to get their material.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. All right, this is Mrs. Martin. She's the owner of Martin's Hardware here in East Troy. Mrs. Martin, what happens when you have employees that do not either show up to work or call in too much to work?
They no longer have a job.
How you doing?
Yeah, no excuse.
I need a couple
How important is it for them to actually fulfill their, attendance duties and stuff like that?
See if we have any in the back.
We hire you for a reason. There's a reason you're hired. It's because we don't want to work every hour that the store is open. So if you don't show up, someone else has to cover for you. And we try to work as a family here, and we don't want to take advantage of anyone else that is working with you.
Awesome.
Any other employees. So.
Right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
My name is James R. Taylor. I own James R. Taylor and Sons in East Troy, Wisconsin. I am going to explain to you how we would handle a late employee situation. All of our employees are due in here at 6:30 to 6:45. Trucks are usually leaving out of here by 6:50. If an employee were to show up after that, they would come to me or one of the foremen in question and say, I was late due to whatever reasoning. Most likely it would be, my alarm clock didn't go off, my tire was flat, my car didn't start. At this day and age, there should be absolutely no excuse why nobody can show up on time. With all of the technology we have, all of the resources we have to contact your employer, there should be no reason that you can't call ahead first and say, you know what, I'm going to be 10 minutes late, I'm 5 minutes late, and this is the reason. If we do not receive a call stating that they are going to be late, then we would actually send that employee home without pay for the day and tell them to return the next day. If the problem were to persist and they were late, multiple times, we would actually terminate the employment here at our company.